Virgos, if you feel like Mercury retrograde last month already made you question your identity and has made life feel really hard, you're going to want to buckle up, because this upcoming month of September is unfortunately going to be even more chaotic for you. So in this video, I want to tell you why this is going to be so chaotic for you and also how you can navigate it well, because I'm praying for you already, because this is going to get, frankly, hard. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Isabelle, your spiritual rebel friend, and I talk about all things astrology, personology, and more. And before I dive into today's video talking about why Virgos should buckle up for the month ahead, be sure to hit the link in the description below to book a reading for a more in-depth interpretation of how September is going to affect you based off of your entire chart. And you can check out my astrology course, The Master Astrologer, in the link below that one or above, so that you can learn how to interpret the stars for yourself. Because frankly, I ended up in a way starting doing most of these interpretation videos because I didn't like the fear mongering that seemed to be so present in astrology. Don't get me wrong, everyone does great reports. I love listening to them, but oftentimes it can feel scary sometimes if you don't know the stars very well. And in the end, you should be able to give your own interpretation so that you can choose your own destiny and choose how you want to interpret your own life. So check those out in the link in the description below. Now, Virgos, I know that I opened this video saying that you should buckle up and it's scary, and it is going to be. To be honest, it is very rare that I give a, so to say, negative interpretation of the month ahead. But I just know, looking at the stars, that this is going to be a really intense month for you. And I also say this with love and compassion because my dad is a Virgo, and I know that he's going to have a really hard month. This whole summer has been leading up to it for him. And now this is a time of really destiny. This is going to feel like trial by fire, potentially. And I want to go into why exactly this is, but also why this is going to be such a good thing for you in the end. But also, it's going to be like a fight in the ring. You are going to be really challenged. You've met your match, and you're going to maybe get a little beat up from it, but you can come out on top. So why is this such a hard month for Virgo? Like, per usual, it is Virgo season. So happy birthday, Virgo. If you are a Virgo sun watching this, happy birthday. This could also be really hard, though, for anyone who has a really strong Virgo placement. So if you're a Virgo rising, if you have a Virgo North Node, if you have a very prominent Virgo Mars, if you have any strong Virgo placements in your interpretation, if you feel like your Virgo energy is strong, this month will hit you hard. The reason for that being, not only is it your birthday, but we have, for starters, we have a eclipse happening in your opposite sign. And this, in my interpretation, is one of the dominant, but not only reasons this month is going to be hard for you. The full moon lunar eclipse is happening in the sign of Pisces, which is your opposite. And when this happens, it's activating, so to say, your axis to start with. And I do want to note that while we will have this full moon lunar eclipse on the 17th, the 17th of September, this energy is only going to get easier. It's going to build until the 17th, but then it's going to get easier because it's going to leave your axis. But the full moon eclipse happening in your opposite sign is going to not only, you've already had a lot going on with your sense of self-identity, but then on top of it, we're going to be bringing in to light, the stars are bringing in a bit of maybe chaos or conclusion with your one-on-one relationship. So your marriages, your partnerships, your friendships. You may feel like something chaotic is happening here. Something's falling away, something's coming in. You may meet your destined partner, and this could be a good thing. However, we have a few planets retrograde in your fellow Earth signs that are going to be activating your 5th and 9th house, I believe. And then also on top of it, we've had Mercury retrograde in your sign last month. So you already did a lot of reassessing your identity. You felt like you're questioning your sense of self and wondering, who the heck am I? Who do I want to be? And now for this Virgo season, we have 2 planets retrograde that are shaking up your sense of purpose and meaning, and also your romance, your life fun. You're questioning what makes life fun. And these have to do with 2 big planets. This has to do with Uranus in Taurus and, my brain's blanking, Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. So with these two planets retrograde, you may be having to do a lot of wound healing, trauma healing with your relationships, with dating, with fun, because Pluto is retrograde in Capricorn now, which is your 5th house. And so this could be bringing to light, man, like I have a lot of wounds in dating. I have a lot of wounds in romance. And then on top of it, you're having to reassess what you believe you're worthy of as far as purpose and travel. Something chaotic is happening with your travels, with your philosophies, with your sense of identity, because the 9th house is the learning that shapes your identity. So to give you specific dates on all this, Virgo season started on August 22nd, but then on September 1st, you start off with a bang. Uranus goes retrograde in Taurus, and Pluto goes retrograde in Capricorn. So it's almost as if September 1st hits and you're immediately shifted into self-reflection, wound healing, old wounds coming up mode. On top of it, we have the new moon in Virgo on the 2nd, which we will feel starting on August 30th. And so what this does is that you're ready to set new intentions, starting a new chapter, but you are having to revisit old wounds. So really you're setting new intentions around how you're going to deal with these old wounds, old patterns, and be a new version of yourself. So Virgo, you're really being asked this month to shift who you are, to heal who you are once and for all. And what you do with this energy is really going to affect what comes into your life during eclipse season, I believe. I believe that you are being asked to do massive healing work during this time. This is Pluto we're talking about, which is the planet of rebirth. And this is Uranus, which is our higher mind. You may have to relearn how to think differently. We have habitual programming, and that is what our Mercury is. It shows us how we have habitually learned to think. And this is a concept that you've been thinking about a lot, especially when Mercury went retrograde in your sign in August. But Uranus is our higher mind. And so with Uranus going retrograde in Taurus, you may realize that you need to think differently, and that there's ways that you have previously learned to think differently, probably through learning philosophy or listening to philosophical subjects, listening to self-growth podcasts, or reading books on this. And now you're revisiting that to go, okay, I need to shift, I need to change, I need to think differently. So this month is asking you to do that. Think differently and heal. On top of it, so we have the new moon in Virgo, which is really asking you to set new intentions during the beginning of this month. This is my advice to you. Really try to focus on something different. And what may help you in the process is trying to just focus on acting in alignment with your heart. The reason I say that is because Mars enters Cancer on the 4th of the month as we are leaving the shadow period of the new moon in Virgo. So ask yourself, how can I nurture myself in this process? How can you act in alignment with that? Let's see, Virgo, with Mars being in Cancer, that is your 11th house. So you may feel like you are changing your sense of purpose or meaning or community. In one interpretation, this simply means that you should act in alignment with your feelings towards a sense of purpose, or maybe spend time with those who nurture you the most, and nurture those who are most important to you. But make sure that while you're doing this, that you're nurturing yourself towards that growth you need first, because while you may want to act with your community, there is 2 retrogrades, and that could be playing a role in how you act with this community, group, or network. Also happening this month, Mercury will enter Virgo on the 9th. So pay attention or look back to what happened between August 5th and August 14th, or around then, August 4th and August 15th, one of the two. What happened during that period? Because that was when Mercury was retrograde in Virgo. And so you may experience now momentum moving forward in that area of yourself. What were you reflecting on with your sense of self? Now you can finally make that progress when Mercury re-enters Virgo on the 9th. And then from there, we have, as I've mentioned, on September 17th, we have the full moon lunar eclipse at 25 degrees of Pisces, which is going to shake up your relationships. This is a full moon, which really means conclusions, endings, grand finales. So something could be finishing during this time. Something could be ending. Something could be falling away. Maybe an old relationship isn't working. Maybe an old dynamic in a relationship isn't working. And so you need to ask yourself, who is it I want to be based off of these retrogrades that are happening? Who have I reassessed that I want to be? How do I need to change in my sense of self, sense of purpose, sense of who I am in dating, and how is that going to affect my one-on-one relationships? If you don't choose to up-level, things will definitely fall away. But if you choose to up-level, it's possible that your dynamic with someone is going to shift. This is a very critical time for you, Virgo. And I encourage you to really think about what you want to do with these retrogrades, how you need to learn to think differently, and how you need to learn to heal in order to have the relationships you want. Pisces is your 7th house. And Pisces is all about empathy and connection and harmony energetically, something more than the tangible. And naturally, as a Virgo, you are focused on the tangible. And so whatever you do these retrogrades, however you choose to think differently and heal, is going to affect how you can embrace Pisces in your 7th house of marriage and partnerships. Maybe you can learn to be more truly empathetic and harmonious with other people. Also on the eclipse, instead of maybe in one interpretation I said, which is things falling away, something new may be coming in, because this is the time to reap reward. And this is actually the first of a 2-piece set. The full moon in Pisces is on the 17th. And then in October, we will have the new moon solar eclipse in Libra, which Libra is about connection. And for you, that is your 2nd house of finances. But this still does have to do with connections. This has to do with one-on-one connections to some degree, because Libra is partnership. And so it could be possible that whatever happens, something chaotic during the Pisces eclipse will shake something up, but will wrap up in 2 weeks, something with your self-worth. So the energy will get easier, but it's going to get harder before it gets easier. We have retrogrades. Retrogrades, I am saying, are an invitation for you to reflect, but they are also going to be very challenging. They are going to feel like chaos, especially because this has to do with Uranus, which shakes things up, especially if you have any Taurus placements. So check your chart. Do you have Taurus placements? And then we have the energy building, so to say, to the lunar eclipse in Pisces. So the 17th will be the peak of this energy, of this chaos, of this deep healing, deep relationship reassessment. And then as we move towards the Libra eclipse in October, things are going to get easier for you. So these next 2 weeks, prepare yourself to dive deep into yourself, to really proactively reflect on what you want to do differently. Now's the time to take out your journal, assess what you've been doing over the last few months, assess what you've thought about yourself the last month with Mercury being retrograde in your sign, specifically between the 4th and the 14th, and ask yourself, who do I want to be? And on top of it, who do I want to be in my relationships? And what does that mean I have to change about myself? And remember that no one truly changes. They only grow. And I think this is a concept that you'll be experimenting with the retrogrades we have. Uranus is our higher mind. So as much as I do believe that no one really changes, Uranus does emphasize that there's a different version of ourselves we can tap into. And the way I like to think about this is by using the Myers-Briggs. The Myers-Briggs is a personality typing system that says that there are 8 different cognitive functions, 8 different ways we can think. And we only pick 4 of them based off the environment we're raised into. But we also have shadow functions, and we can learn how to use them. So imagine it as there's 8 different potential highways of thought, 8 different ways we can think in our mind. And we choose 4. But the other 4 are there, they're just dormant. So you won't be able to fully change your emotional programming, so to say, but you can also learn how to think differently on top of the imprint you already have. It's like how you can't change your birth chart, but you can change the way you express it. These are things for you to think about during this September. And to finish off the month, on September 22nd, we'll finally leave Virgo season. We'll enter Libra season, which will focus on your self-worth. It'll take the edge off of this energy on the 22nd. Also, Venus will enter Scorpio, which will then be a focus for you on diving deep into learning and communications. being more authentic with others and speaking with your partners. And on the 26th, Mercury will enter Libra, which will again take this edge off. But Virgo, I want to hear from you. What are you feeling so far? Are you ready for this month ahead? Does it still sound scary? Because I'm doing my best to make sure that this is not a fearful interpretation. I do know this month is going to be very challenging, but as I said, as the metaphor at the beginning of this video, this is really like you're entering the ring. And if you stay on the sidelines, people are just going to throw you in there. So better for you to walk in as a champion and know that you can come out on top of this month. What do you want to be? Who do you want to be? How can you change that? Use what you've learned in the past as a reference towards creating your future. There are concepts, there are ideas that you've visited this last month or 2 or 3 or 5 that can help you go forward. So reference those things and let me know in the comments below what you're feeling. I am going to be putting out more horoscopes for other signs. I filmed a lot today and I'm already exhausted. I feel like I just want to go into a silent retreat mode. So let me know in the comments below what you're feeling. Let me know what Virgo placement you have. Are you a Virgo sun and feeling this? Are you a Virgo North Node, South Node, Mars, Mercury? Let me know in the comments below if you're feeling this energy. And if you want more advice on how to really work through this energy this month, if you want handheld guidance to get through this month, then we can book a reading in the link in the description below. And if you want to learn how to do this all for yourself, be sure to check out the astrology course. Link is in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I sincerely hope you enjoyed. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and stay tuned for more videos breaking down the stars and more. Once again, my name is Isabelle, and from my heart to yours, Virgo, you're gonna get through this. It's gonna be great. And namaste.